All right, guys, we are live. It's episode 290 of the Shooter's Mindset. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Jennifer Seymour's joining me. What's going on, Jen? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
It's
Good.
on. Good morning. Good evening.
Great.
Happy pandemic.
Cannon's in the house.
He couldn't even keep a straight face to do it. He put it on and immediately just died.
This is my mom. We can get to that later. That's the result of my mom's gag gifts anyway.
Great. Cannon's joining us, buddy.
Hey, everyone.
The guest and star of the hour. He declined us once. We've asked enough to get him back on. Todd Lewis is joining us. What's going on, Todd?
Hey, guys.
Yeah,
Todd here.
There it is.
Thank you for having me.
This is the first
Not
guest
because I don't love you, Anthony.
We actually paid the first guest to be on here on the team.
Did you really?
Yeah.
How much? I'm curious.
Did you? You didn't get the PayPal money I sent you?
Yeah, no, that Cash App's not working right now. Sorry.
Yeah, it must be closed.
Yeah.
Like the rest of everything else. Yeah, there we go. So episode 290 of the Shooter's Mindset. Thank you guys for tuning in. Show sponsors here. The folks over at GSL Technology Suppressors. They kind of got what you need. I mean, the dude's a genius when it comes to making a suppressor. He's got pretty much a suppressor for every caliber gun. So take a look over there. I don't know if things are probably closed down. Who knows what tax stamps are coming back at? I don't know, but I put one in a week ago. So 2 weeks. I will love it.
Yeah.
I put one in a week ago, so we'll see if it takes like 2 years to get back, if anything's any open on their side.
They got a magic 8-ball over there. I wish them the best. But
There we go. Questions here. Get them in if you're watching on the Shooter's Mindset Facebook page on the live feed here. You can just throw your questions in. We'll get them into Todd. Or if you got any questions for us, usually people don't. It's usually for the guests, but we'll try to answer them throughout the live show. Shootersmindset.com, where you can catch all the Shooter's Mindset episodes and a little bit more about me, Jen, and Greg, and maybe some blogs that's been there for like ever that are really old and not updated. You can find that over there on the shootersmindset.com. But for those who are unfamiliar with you, Todd, tell us a little bit more about yourself and kind of how you got involved in competitive shooting.
Yeah, sure. I'm a bit of an anomaly. This is strange. I have to say the timing of all this has been very interesting for me. So right after 9/11 is when I got into shooting, where my ex-wife, she wanted to go do a couples thing and end up being a Citizens Police Academy thing, where like the local police sort of show you what they do and answer all the questions. And I ended up getting my concealed at the end of that and thought, hey, I'm going to have this, be responsible. And that led to the internet, finding out about guns. And basically I just got into competing with full auto first, which is a weird one. Started shooting full auto, did that for a while, started putting on matches, did that for a while, won nationals, and then had a buddy call, be like, hey, have you heard of Three Gun Man? And I was like, no. And I had an AK, my first three gun match was like AK 870 and like a Beretta 92G. It was ugly. My first three gun match ever, I stood like ankle deep in water shooting a Vickers 9-hole wall with an AK with iron sights. And it was miserable and it was fun. It was awesome and I was hooked. Yeah. And so I just kept pushing, So there wasn't a lot down here in Florida. So I decided to do it. And I've been blessed with amazing people that have helped me along the way. I got a group of guys that do it. And you've been to my matches, Anthony. We're different. Right. We're fun, but we're different.
Right. Definitely usually a fun match every time. Todd's usually behind it or at it. Don't really need to be the match director of it usually.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a big compliment. Thank you, sir.
It's like I think I shot I think it was a carbine only match at like Markham, and this dude's introducing himself. It's like, dudes, people in South Florida don't introduce themselves and say hi like this dude Todd, right? So I'm like, he's talking too much. I don't know if I like him, right? And then the next match you see him and he's talking again a lot, and then you're like, all right, well, this dude's pretty cool. He's not like an annoying kind of big talker.
Ask Ken Fusco that question. He'll give you a different answer, but okay.
Yeah, so there we go. So that's kind of like, he just like, I didn't know his name, but he always stood out because it was always the dude talking. So it's like, all right, well, he shoots a rifle pretty good. Okay, so maybe I'll listen to what he has to say here and there, right?
Oh, so I got
Yeah.
one thumbs up from you. You're like,
Yeah.
all right.
He shot a rifle better than I did, so I was like, hey, I gotta learn. Maybe it's
Right. I
willing
can't
to
talk
talk.
shit until I can beat him. That's
Yeah,
a
I
legit.
can't talk shit.
Okay.
I can't
All right.
talk shit until I beat him, so he's all right. And that's kind of
That
where it
works.
was at.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. It's funny how you got into full auto first. That's usually like not where people step foot into competition shootings with full auto.
It was
How
a
did that happen?
crazy progression. It was fast,
did you
too.
have just like a Uzi someone gave you, or you bought in the 80s or something?
No, so I got the pistol, got my concealed, and my mindset is I should be responsible. If you have something, you're responsible for that. So if I'm gonna have to fire my gun defensively for myself and my wife, I said, well, let's learn how to do this, and that sort of led to reading. And then online, I'm like, wait, I can really buy full auto stuff. And like, wait a minute, this is a sound investment, okay. And so it just kept kind of snowballing. And then I shot from 04 till 2011. I won the nationals for subgun stuff, which it's a thing. If you guys ever get a chance, go to Knob Creek. It's just cool, man. If you're a competitor, go. It's just amazing. It's changed since the heyday when I was back there. But yeah, in Florida and Arizona are the only two states that have every single month. And I was blessed, lucky, right? They have monthly subgun matches, which had it not been for that, I wouldn't have got into it. But every first Sunday, I could drive up there, have fun. And it's just cool, man. Full auto. And if you're going to really double tap, not much beats that, right? So
there you go. Agreed.
So
we're probably gonna hit some more of this full auto talk here. We have some shout outs here. Greg, what do you got that you pulled up?
Yep. So Brian from HD Gold said, "Good evening, everyone." And Kevin from GSL Suppressors said, "Hey."
Yeah.
It's a really good hey. That's almost a practiced hey, Greg.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Greg, hit me with that hey again. One more hey, Greg.
Hey.
There you go.
It wasn't as good as the first one.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions regarding the GSL technology stuff that we talked about here in the announcements, you can just click on Kevin's profile and just send him a DM saying you want to be sponsored and flood him. I want to be sponsored. I want free shit.
Right under the bus.
Sponsor me. I have an Instagram.
There you go. I don't know if it'll work out with you, but it's worth a try. A lot of people do it that way. Some people get lucky, believe it or not. So I don't know. Try your luck there. You've been the local 3-gun match director, at least. I believe I came out to one of the first matches you did in Altair. Now I know that's no longer there, or it's there and someone else bought it. Yada yada. I don't know. I've heard different stories. They knocked the whole place, the Deep Lake, I believe,
they burn it
down
they let the county burn it down. So they took this beautiful building that, to me, we spent a couple of years there, me and my boys, right? The crew that does all the design and setup, and Bob, Jim, Ken, Jason, Jordan, Adam, Jared, and a few others. And we would hang out in this place and do all these cool matches and just chill and have kind of like, your own spot. And then things didn't work out and they ended up burning it down, letting the fire department put it out, and they charged the county for it, I think. So, and they're going to rebuild it. I don't know. We'll see. I love that place, though. Such a nice place.
Yeah, it was a nice place. And it didn't look like much outside, but once you step foot in there, it was really
serene,
nice,
which is not what you get at a gun range. I remember being out there and I'm blasting with my AR and I'm doing drills. And it was like maybe a day before Keith Garcia was coming down to do a class. And this massive white owl just comes and just goes, flies across, lands, flies off. And there's just all this nature there intermixed with shooting. And you're just kind of like beside yourself, because to me, it was serene, which is not usually what you shooting, right?
Yeah. It
was good. It was a good place. I hope it comes back. It was nice.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. So, it's funny because I've had Bob Vogel come down there and we were right in the classroom in that facility. And then we went out and shot right outside. And then we had Keith Garcia one time. I think you were part of that class. And then you brought Keith back. And I didn't attend the second class with Keith. But yeah, that was a gym in South Florida, or, right across the alley there that a lot of people, I think people knew about it, but they didn't really know about it. I know they had a big influence with the tactical community and military and like SWAT guys because of the jail facility.
That's how I learned about
train
it.
In that. Yeah.
Yeah. An FBI agent said, hey, I was out there. He did like a McNamara class or something. I'm like, well, how's the facility? Oh, it's just another range. And that was it. Dismissive, because they do, flat range stuff when you're doing your qualifications and whatever. And I didn't think anything of it. But The Rick Lund, you know Rick Lund. Rick Lund's the reason I got out there. Rick Lund's an amazing person. I mean, there's people that should get awards for helping in the betterment of the shooting sports. That dude, you know, I'll personally make him a plaque if no one else does it, because that guy's just good for the shooting sports, period. And he owns Homestead Training Center now, at least that he's involved in that. So it's a pretty neat situation in South Florida right now for shooting. Minus.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't, and I'm working on a Rick Lund show. We've talked about it here in the past.
You gotta get him on, man.
Yeah, we haven't.
I would be a cheerleader for Rick Lund as a profession, because I'm so amazed at what he has done for others. It inspires me to do the same. It's so good.
Yeah, he's like, call me, and I'm like, I know what that means. When they say call you, you're gonna have like a 2-3 hour conversation with him. So I didn't get a chance to call him. But we're gonna get him on the show, because I think if it wasn't for Rick, the South Florida like competition scene would be a lot like behind the curve. Like there won't be as many matches for sure. So there you go. Yeah. We have one. What do you have? You have one more. Just remember to unmute yourself there.
It wouldn't be a show if I didn't forget to unmute myself at least once. Sam Phelps said hey, but just right
Sam.
There you go. All right. Any where we're at here? I said, I remember kind of doing your. I showed up at your first match over at Altair. Yeah. What have been some of the challenges of hosting 3-gun matches down here? Because I know in the South Florida area, we're not known to have a lot of land or a lot of ranges where you can host a full-on, whether it's a pistol match, PRS match. You know, we have very limited sources, especially if, you know, maybe 5-10 years ago it was even worse. Yeah. So what are some of the challenges you have hosting 3-gun matches and keeping them?
Stability is the number one thing. So just so you guys know, this Altair place, it was an old prison that was taken over, bought by some friends, people that became friends or associates that and they also built another prison. So they had a 1,200-acre prison, which is old maximum security prison, the small one. And we did some pretty crazy stuff. I was just trying to think of, a lot of people didn't want to do it. A lot of people thought 3-gun was weird. A lot of people they thought for some reason bringing more than one gun would be an issue. So I just kept pushing. I don't take no very well. So I just keep going after people. And I think when people realize how I operate, my guys operate, try to leave the ranges better, then we found them. And, you know, it's unique spaces. Like that Altair place was a big, flat, 150, 160 yards back. But people don't understand, like, there was missing sideberms. It was weird. And same down here. A lot of other clubs, they have their set thing. They do shotgun, they do pistol. They don't want 3-gun. So I had to push through that. I was taking the first 3-gun nation club ever in Florida. I did that, but I didn't have an actual range. So I went to Port Malabar. I went to Clewiston. My buddy's got a property on Clewiston. We just went wherever we could, and we put the stuff on. And we got through it. And now everyone else is here, which is cool. Now we just got to get past the current situation and get back at it, because 2020 could still be a baller year. But I'm hopeful, but I'm also a realist. So we'll see. Yeah,
now you're hosting them at Homestead Training Center, or are you still doing any at Markham, or is that a South Florida Pistol Club thing?
Yeah, so the Homestead Training Center, for all intents and purposes, my home range. They've been wonderful to me. They're family to me. And we do some awesome stuff there. We do great stuff. And then there's also the range that used to be Altair, which was in a bunch of other places, now called Tradecraft. And so I'm now going to be resuming matches out of Tradecraft. And it's an old prison. I mean, you guys have probably seen some of my videos. I mean, it's nuts. It's cool. It's a unique property. The new people that are running it are very agreeable. They get it. And so we're working together and you guys have no idea how much cool stuff was planned. It is planned. I mean, for this year, and then this happened. So hopefully everything's going to be on the back burner. But when this stuff kicks off and is done, oh my gosh, guys, guns and helicopters and airboats, and I got so much stuff on the mix. We need to be done with this so we can get on with the good stuff, because it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, it's funny because you talk about the prison, and they're finally gonna put out some resume matches there whenever this thing breezes over. It just brought me back to that Step Brothers scene. There's so much more room for activities.
Yeah,
you know, at the jailhouse. So that's gonna be fun.
We had tentatively set an AK match that we were gonna do with Century for like a week and a half ago, or a week ago. It was last weekend, but yeah, everything's in holding right now. So we're going to do some cool stuff. This is a good state to be in. I think this is a good time to be in America, minus the COVID. We get past this, because I think people are starting to really want to get out and shoot. I think there are a lot of people. I love this whole new gun owner thing, and I keep seeing videos from everyone I know that shoots that says, "Hey, if you're a new gun owner, let me help you." To me, that's a cool thing. I think we're getting more people wanting to do what we're doing, and I think that's a very positive outcome given the negative reality of what's going on. So that's me.
Jen, that kind of leads us into the question number 3, which is kind of perfectly leads us into it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the elephant in the room that everybody is talking about. COVID-19 has put a pause on mostly everything in the world in general, much less shooting included stuff. So how is this going to affect shooting matches moving forward? What do you think is going to happen with that?
That's a weird one. I don't know. So both Tradecraft, which is out near Naples, and Homestead are open and they're shooting. We haven't discussed matches yet, but ranges are open. They're doing they're doing their own internal processes and how to deal with it. But I have not figured it out yet. Guys, there's so many NDAs and stuff I've signed of cool stuff I've been asked to do, and that has been planned already months ago. That should be kicking off. And it's so weird because I know of all these great things that would be everywhere on the internet. People are like, that was cool, let's do the next one, that we just had to pause on. So I just don't know. I would do a gas mask. I would do a gas mask hazmat, match. I would do you were the only person on your stage, shoot it and reset all your stuff and get on to the next stage kind of match. I mean, I'll figure a way to do this. It's whether or not the people are going to want to come out, because fear is a hell of a motivator, and this is a real situation. It
is. So what are you doing to pass the time during the quarantine?
Oh my God, you guys have been on my Instagram. It's bonkers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Developing a new body armor line for Joe Farewell. Let me show you.
There you go. It's crazy. I just purchased some body armor.
Figured, there you go. What do you think? No? That's your 10-inch. No, I was joking around today. I was like, there's a bunch of guys sitting around with thousands of these, doing matches. And there's a bunch of people scrounging for guns and ammo and armor and all this other ridiculous stuff. And I was like, that's funny. I don't know what I'm doing for matches. I don't even know what I'm doing for anything right now. I have literally the best year lined up in my life, and it's just like pause. So I'm here with everyone else, just high hopes for the future. But
are you dry firing a lot?
No, I'm not.
At least you're honest, right?
Yeah.
So hey, after getting called out in front of all of our viewers last week by Chad, I'd like to announce to everybody I did dry fire today on lunch since I'm working from home.
Congratulations.
Kind of proud of myself.
Congratulations. You're good.
I've been making jokes on the internet to pass the time. I've been stuck since the 16th. I don't know if you guys know, like on the 16th of March, I had Tadwell, Targets, Crimson Trace, my buddy Jeff from Bat Defense, my buddy Chris from DVT Technical Innovation. We had a Huey helicopter, a minigun, and we were blasting 4,000, 5,000 rounds a minute out of this minigun at some big yellow targets, laying some hate on them. It was a lot of fun. That's what I'm doing right now. I don't know about the future. We'll see. Yeah. It's fun.
So what's the deal with the ranges? Because now, like a week ago, I don't think there was a range open in like the state, let alone like just going to the range, public shooting. I think everything closed. Like gun shops have been open, but like we closed the range, so there's nobody that's allowed to shoot. But if you want to purchase ammo and guns, you can.
That makes sense. So no one can do a concealed class there? Is there no?
Well, I was like, obviously, since I worked there, I was able to do them on the range, but the range was closed to like pretty much everybody, unless you were like federal, unless you were law enforcement, something like that, we will allow. But and then I heard like Trump kind of did some like nationwide range as essential deal. So
gun stores are, yeah.
So gun stores are, but not the range. So I'm confused because
is that true? I don't know if is that factual or is that. Does anyone know what the actual statement says on what gun entities are allowed and what defines that?
I keep hearing back and forth, but I want to. What's the facts? Like what's the.
So somewhere I saw that they said that ranges themselves were essential. I know a lot of the ranges around us are doing stuff like every other bay's open, no training, no classes, nothing like that, where you have people with people. But a lot of them are, saying 2 people limit per bay. Every other bay is open so that you're more than 6 feet apart. And they're
how small are their bays? Or is this an indoor range or an outdoor range?
I'm seeing that on a lot of indoor ranges.
Okay, that makes sense.
Both the ones around here and the ones from when I was back up in Charlotte. I know our outdoor range down here is still open because most of their stuff is spread out far enough where it's no big deal. But everybody's canceling matches, classes, one-on-one instruction, anything that's going to put a lot of people close together. But I think not last weekend, the weekend before last, I went out to the range just because I had to get out and breathe and shoot something. And there was a lot of people out there, but everyone was doing a pretty good job of spreading out, besides for one group of old guys that met at the range, and they were like, "Oh, it's so good to meet you." And I'm sitting there cringing. I'm like, "Don't touch him."
Hey, can I try your gas mask out? Yeah, so the Tradecraft range, those guys are pushing pretty hard, and they think they have a special going on now, like they're giving a month or 2 months free. You can check them on Instagram. I'll see if I get Anthony to link to them. And Homestead's doing the same thing, where it's like existing members only can come. You have to reserve a space. It's organized. It's thoughtful. Like, you have to do it online. You have to call. You have to reserve it, and then they take care of you. I like it when the best side of humanity comes out during trials and tribulations of life. So, and it seems like our community is pretty good to go like that. There's so many good people in this community. Mm-hmm. I'm loving it. Not McDonald's advertisement.
I'm still, like, we started doing that every other bay. We would shut pretty much we were operating half the range, and then it started to get worse, and more things started to close, and then we just decided to close the range. So, but I've heard people call the shop and say, "Hey, but Trump said that yada yada, and now you can reopen the range." And we're like, first of all, I'm not a big TV watcher, so I don't really watch the news per se. Like,
I'm the same way.
I'm always just like, okay, well, if I want to find out something, I'll go find the actual, like, what's the fact? Like, what does state of Florida say can be done here? Right? Because I know it varies probably from state to state. I know California's probably nuts with it and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just keep hearing people say, "Hey, you can be open. You're essential." I'm like, yeah, I think the shop is essential because we're selling ammo and handguns and rifles.
I'd argue both sides of that. If it were me, I'd say, look, I mean, clearly what good is a gun if you don't know how to shoot it? It doesn't make any sense, right? And the second, you got to hand it to the founding fathers. I mean, they didn't see this, but they saw this. So many levels of this. Those guys are brilliant. So It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Indeed, yeah. How bad do you think this is actually going to get? I mean, obviously this is all opinion, but I mean, I brought this up last week. I think maybe 3-4 weeks ago, me and Jen were kind of just like, no big deal. We were kind of just like, almost like joking about it. We didn't think it was going to be what it kind of turned out. So should we be strapping on our armor plate carriers now, or should we hold off?
I don't know. So I live you guys know I live in a high rise, right? I'm when I step out my front door, I've got 1,000+ people in the building I live in. So I'm in the highest risk area of anyone I know whatsoever. I mean, I'm in a building that's high density. I'm in a city that's high density. I'm in a city of world travelers and immigrants and amazing people that for some reason just don't effing get it. And I'll tell you, I saw a guy in the elevator lobby the other day, just, "Hey man, what do you think? Is this going to be bad?" This was 2 days ago. 2 days ago. Guys like, "Yo man, what do you think?" Like, it's a bunch of BS. You have to have a healthy distrust for your government because they lie. You also have to have a sense about you, man. Like, what are you going to do? I mean, people have to realize that I think this next week's going to be the give or take. I personally, if this thing goes south, I'm probably going to bug out of where I am because it's just not a smart place for me to be if I want to live, right? Or if I want to not get people around me sick. And I don't want to get sick. I don't want anyone else in control of my health than me, period. So I don't know. It's a weird one. I don't know. Where do you guys think it's going? Because I don't know. I'm optimistic, but I'm a realist, man.
I'm hearing there's a little bit of like it was like going like this, like crazy, and I heard it's starting to kind of level out. So I think next week is really going to be an important week for like the stats and where numbers are going and how we're kind of like dipping and we're kind of controlling this thing. But if not, I mean, when people are out of work for more than a month, I mean, usually people can sustain themselves for at least.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking paycheck to paycheck kind of folks. Usually, you can get that month through, but if it goes past that, and people aren't seeing that paycheck every week or every 2 weeks, supplies are running low. It's harder to get supplies. That's when it's going to start getting nuts, and that's what I fear. I don't know if you guys got any on that, John.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to live scared. I'm not going to live scared, but I think that everyone should be cautious. You know, no one really knows. You know, my crystal ball broke, so no one really knows. They're all going off of projections. Now, it's very smart people. I know some people think it's just, you know, the government like conspiring or whatever. I'm not really sure how they got the whole rest of the world to conspire with them.
With a grain of salt. No one knows. No one knows what the truth is, and that's the biggest problem. Everyone's like, well, I don't know. And what do you do when you don't know?
Well, that's what I was about to say. You don't really know it's projections, but to me, I'd rather err on the side of caution than err on the side of flippancy. And, you know, maybe I don't get sick from it, but I carry it home to my mom who's older or my dad. And then I'm the one that brought it home to them, and then they get sick and they don't do well with it. So
that's my biggest fear. One of my best friends is 88 years old. And my mother's 80. And, you know, it would take a tragic toll, I think, on my soul to know that I intentionally or otherwise harmed someone that I care for deeply, or just a random stranger. I saw fear in an elderly man's face in Publix the other day when I had mask and gloves on, and I'm just trying to make my way through. And we were a little close because it's this narrow aisle. But the look in this guy's eye, I'll never forget. He was genuinely concerned. And, you know, have you guys done anything with your communities to help? I've tried. My community I said, hey, how do we identify people that need help? I will go shop for people. I've been sick, waiting to get healthy to help. Now I'm here. I'm finally just got off meds yesterday. I had this throat thing going on for 2 weeks. Wasn't COVID, none of that stuff, but it's something else that made me think like, crap, if I'm this way, what about the 90-year-old lady around the corner, you know? Like, how can I help my neighbors? How can I be a good person, but also not get myself dead in the process? It's a weird time we're living in. Strange days, right? So
if 10 years ago you would have told me that Trump was president and that, you know, all sports would be canceled and
Trump
all
is
bars
president,
and everything
Bill Cosby's a rapist, and Ice Cube is teaching or doing kids shows in the movies. You'd be like, right, get off the drugs.
Yeah, I'd be like, y'all have lost your minds.
Yeah,
and like the most watched thing on television is a gay you know that word, tiger tamer.
Polygamist.
There we go.
A multiple partner tiger dude.
Yeah,
that, you know what? Awesome. If you guys haven't seen Tiger King, watch it. Oh my god!
I watched the first episode last night because I'm like, all right, so many people are talking about it's all over my feed. Let me give it a shot.
Get through two or three.
Once you get through 3, you're just gonna be.
Oh, okay. So that's where it is. That's where you're hooked at 3, because at the first one, I was like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's cool, but it's not something that I think I want to stick along for.
There's some weird in there, but the editing job, whoever edited that was amazing, because there's some stuff I was sitting there watching, like I just kept saying WTF the whole time I'm watching. What is going on? And then some of the little edit bits they did are just magic. It's a good watch, but get through the first 2 or 3 of them for sure.
All I gotta say is if I don't have a speech at my funeral, like at his young husband's funeral, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Man, okay. I'm hearing so much crazy from this show that I'm
it gets weirder every time I hear more about this show. I'm like, y'all are lying.
It gets weirder. Yeah, for sure.
You still haven't watched it.
We collectively have more teeth than everyone that shows up in that show.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, by like a multiple of 6 or 7, I'm sure.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. We got a giveaway announcement. Not only a giveaway from the last week's show, we were giving away a Crush It timer, which is a good tool for the PRS folks and stuff like that.
What is that? I'd like to know what that is. I saw it. Can you explain what this thing is you're giving away?
All right. So in the precision rifle series, it's a part-time sport. So we're not going for the fastest. It's whoever can hit all the targets within the allotted time.
Do you get bonus points for battle cries at all? That's important.
Unfortunately not.
Okay. Really, Jennifer?
So what we like, one of the hard things to do is to balance how fast you shoot versus how much time is left. And you can ask the RO like, hey, how much time is left? And then 15 seconds later you get a response and then you're out of time. But it's a really cool thing.
This is the timer you explained on the last show, that you can see how much time you have left and slow down so you don't. Dude, that is such a great idea. I need that. I need that in my 3-gun game. My gosh. That's a neat
I'm sure
product.
he could. He's actually looking at making one for the Warren Skyline mount. So
nice. Well, I just thought it was such a great idea to know that, okay, slow it down. Because that's a big problem all of us have, is especially when it's a part-time, you're fighting against that clock. Andy Horner matches, 3-gun, forget it. 180 seconds is not long enough to do anything, let alone run a stage.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Here, let me share my screen. We had 28 people entered. So random.
It's on the gun. I don't even know what this thing looks like. I need to see this.
That's so cool. I'll show it after this. So there it is.
Yeah, it has like a Picatinny attachment,
That's
right?
neat.
A top rail attachment.
Yep.
Nice.
And you add your minutes and seconds and just play pause right there.
So as soon as the beep or the engage is done, you can hit it as you're moving into position.
So what took longer, developing the product or coming up with the name?
We'll have to ask Chad that.
I think Chad's watching. Chad, answer that question.
I'd be real curious
Tell
on
me
that.
the answer,
Names
Chad.
are tough. Names are real tough.
All right.
So that's
Random
where I got
numbers
Chad
generated.
from.
So who's winning this?
Let's see. We'll generate
Only
number
28? Number 24.
Yep, number 24. I screenshotted everything beforehand. So 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Jessica is our winner.
There you go.
So congratulations, Jessica. Shoot us a PM. We'll get you in touch with Chad.
Congratulations there, Jessica. That's a cool item, man. I think people, and you can get that if you didn't win and you really wanted one, you can find it on Swanee's Comp Gear.
What are those? What do they run for? What do they cost?
I think they're $100, aren't they? They're going for $100.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I thought that's what I
timers and just duct tape it on and crank it.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So Todd, I guess, reached out to his sponsors, and they are giving away some items here for this show. We're giving away a Crimson Trace red dot optic, enclosed red dot optic. That's pretty cool.
Gun not included. That's a CTS 1000, and the folks over at Century Arms are going to give away 5 of these U.S. Palm mags, which are waffle and are redesigned in baller. So they're good, fun.
There you go. So 5 U.S. Palm AK 30-round mags, and the optic from Crimson Trace from the folks over there. And people know that company from like doing the lasers, right? I know there was some switch and some people buying companies and merging companies or something, but Crimson Trace has a full line of optics now, lights. So
they got 1-8s, they've got lights, lasers, they got a lot. They got
a lot of stuff now. So if you really enjoyed their lasers, which their lasers were probably one of the most reliable laser systems you can probably have on a handgun or rifle system. So if you believe in them, you probably want to take a look at their optics, and then you might be able to win one of these for free. I don't know how we're going to do this giveaway. We're probably going to
do it.
We want to do it like we just did the Crush It, like tag some folks
Yeah.
Or have people tell their best quarantine story.
I would say get photos. Let's see what people are up to, man. Have them post a photo of them doing something. I like to see people. The internet is so impersonal for as connected as we are. So I like to really see what people are up to.
Post your
best. You do whatever you want, man.
How about tag 2 friends and post your best quarantine picture?
I would do this. I would give the 5 mags to someone with an AK who needs it. You post a picture of the AK, get you a mag. So
Also, if you're in a commie state that you can't get these mags in, just be aware of that. Okay, so I don't want to be sending mags.
Yeah,
to
don't get
Cali
us
or
in
something.
trouble.
Yeah, I'm not sent. Well, they're not going to be sent anywhere they can't be sent. So that's a link, and I just toss it on there. So I've been pulling a bunch of stuff out, putting together. Has anyone thought about a gas mask shooting, defensive stuff? Lights and lasers right now with what's going on is where it's at. I mean, if anyone's wearing a full respirator gas mask, even if you have a side offset, you're probably not going to get a solid sheet flow. So heaven forbid anything goes crazy, but lights and lasers, you can definitely get a quicker engagement more accurately with a green laser from Crimson Trace. Holy cow, guys, those things are cool. So think about it, because do you guys carry those, Anthony, at any of the places that you deal with, the lasers?
We have we have some. We don't have Crimson Trace stuff. We can get those for you. So it's not like if we don't have it in stock, we can probably get it for you. But we have some Holosun options and stuff like that, like some debold kind of lasers for the AR style stuff.
They gave me this to try out. It's a link, right? It's got a button here. It's encrypted Bluetooth that goes to the receiver, and it's pretty neat because you can just actuate it, and it does, like, that one does solid light, blinking light, solid laser, blinking laser, and then like the ultimate superpower is blinking green laser with blinking light. Forget that. I wouldn't want that pointed at me for anything. It's like a vomit special, man. So
yeah.
So hey, we got an answer to our question from before. The timer took way longer to design and get it right than the name.
Okay, because this is a great name. It's a simple, short name, and that's great.
Yeah,
I've seen people go for weeks trying to figure it out.
He's a pretty witty fella, so I'm pretty sure that was just like
I like the name Crush It Timer.
Crush It Timer. That totally sounds like something he'd say. But there's also all sorts of different mounting options. Like they got mounting options for a spur mount. They got 30 millimeter and 34 millimeter rings. They got the Picatinny mount. And I'm pretty sure after me and Jen whined about it last week, we're going to have a Warren Skyline mount coming pretty soon too.
Nice.
Very
cool.
Yes.
So Kevin wants to know, where do I post a photo to enter for that red dot?
So probably tomorrow morning when I'm working from home and not doing anything unrelated to work at all, I will go ahead and take the time to make 2 separate posts with all the rules, one for the red dot and one for the mags.
Are we doing 2 winners or 1 winner?
Todd? Let's do 2 winners. So this way we can make more people happy, because we got to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And do you want to give all the mags to someone, or do you want to give, I think 5 mags to a person during a pandemic is pretty good. That's a legit hookup, right?
Yeah, that's a legit hookup right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, AK mags and dude, that's kind of gold right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't just walk into a gun shop nowadays and say, "Hey, let me get 20 mags." You're gonna be like, "Yeah, good luck, pal." Go ahead and.
So are mags in short supply right now? Is that going on?
Yeah, that's still going on. I mean, I have like no Glock 17, 19 mags. I got very few P mags for an AR-15. Like they're in the sand color. Like nobody wants the white P mag, right?
I do.
But you
can dye those. For anyone who, see, my man, we're going to hang out, Greg. We're going to be friends. I have a whole box of those here that I bought just to dye. I was going to do the whole rainbow, Those are the best ones.
I kind of wanted to be this color. It's my favorite color. Lime green P mags.
So is this teal? Is it Tiffany blue? What's this color we got going on?
That is lime green. It comes up really weird on the camera, but it is like zombie lime green.
So my buddy Adam has this thing for green. He's got this crazy. What's that color green that Adam Furman uses, Anthony?
It's like, I think it's the same color. It's like a zombie green. It's like a
neon,
green. Like a neon green. It's weird.
That thing glows in the dark, like legit.
He's literally amazing. He would do his toaster oven green if he could. I mean, it's a neat color though. And Jen, what do you got? You got a little blue guy behind you. Blue, black. Okay, nice.
It's my favorite.
There you go. I got to get into PRS. I know when I do it, I'm going to be addicted, so I've held off.
Mm-hmm.
You can only
it
do
is fun.
That's what happened to me. I was like, 10
Look,
shots,
for like a
90
year,
seconds.
I shot PRS. Me and him had done 3 gun together, and I shot PRS for like a year, and he's like, "It's so boring. I don't want to go do that. That'll be boring. It's so slow." And I was like, whatever. I was like,
It does.
so
It does look slow initially.
it's
I'm like,
not.
what
Let
the
me tell you, you feel like you're booking it. So we got to the first match, and he was like, "Oh my God, this is hard and it's fun," and like he was timing out, and it was going faster than he thought. So
Wow.
Yeah, I remember seeing
So do
some
you
of
get
Jen's
time
videos.
compression?
I'm like, Jen,
You get-
why,
Go ahead.
why are you moving? Sorry, Todd. Why are you moving up? Like, the buzzer's going off. Why are you going in this position so damn slow? And she's like, it doesn't matter. We're trying to get comfortably in position to shoot some 1,000-yard targets. I'm like, I don't think I can go that slow shooting the games that we've played in the past.
it's better
You gotta
get
shift
into
gears,
position.
man.
You get
Yeah.
into a position and build your position, and then you can shoot it.
It's like if you're building a house and you rush through the foundation, your stucco is going to be real fucked up.
Not the first time you use that analogy, but that's a very good analogy. That's a good. So do you guys get a pretty serious time compression when the buzzer goes, we all think we know what's going on time-wise and we don't, thus the clock. But do you really have, is it always the same par or is it different? And do you guys really feel that crunch? Because your round count is so much lower than 3-gun or pistol.
Yep.
But it seems like every PRS shooter I know is so satisfied in their sport. So satisfied.
I love it. Some of the par times are 90 seconds and some are a minute 45, some are 2 minutes, depending on the match director. There are some people that every stage is 90 seconds. And sometimes it depends on the stage. Like if it's a prone stage, they might give you less time than if it's something that has 5 positions where you have to get in a position, they might give you more time. But
can you just let it all run out, or do you get penalized if you hit all of them and you run out of time, or if you shoot at all of them but run out? Are you penalized for just the misses?
Totally different thought process than 3-gun. First match I went to, I was like trying to get through because I had to engage every target. I didn't want to get an FTE. There are no FTEs, so it is better to time out at 6 shots and impact all 6. Than to get 10 shots off and only get 3 impacts.
Got it.
And it's a different, I don't know.
Thing, man.
It's a whole different mindset and a different ball game. It's hard.
Yeah.
These are small targets out at 600, 700, 800,
So
900,
how big? What is it?
yards.
How big at 600 yards would it be? 4 inches, 6 inches, 10 inches?
It depends on the stage. It's usually 1 to 2 MOA. So
Wow.
Going out 1 to 2 MOA, and it depends. If it's a really hard position, they'll be a little more
12-inch
generous.
target at 600 yards? That's crazy. That's great.
Yeah, 10-inch target, 12-inch target. Yeah. So it just kind of depends, and it's positional stuff. Sometimes it's hard to get steady. Everything looks like it's moving. So that's why it's important to build the position.
I call it tactical yoga, which is why Jen kicks my ass at it so bad. Because it really is about contorting your body into some sort of a position where, you could literally just have a post sticking up and it's like, okay, here's your 4x4 post, or, the corner of a tank trap. Then they're like, all right, see that 10-inch target at 600 yards? You need to hit that 10 times in a minute and a half off of this post.
Wow.
But it's not usually off of that post. It's usually off of like 5 different posts, and you do 2 shots off of each. So you're having to move. And
yeah, we got a very healthy PRS stuff go. The whole environment community down here. Rick Freeberg, a buddy of mine, I actually brought him out to the big prison with the 2-mile range, and he's been running out there with a bunch of other guys. And
my last match, I stayed in an Airbnb with all of the Southern Florida boys.
Yeah.
Tucker.
Yeah.
And Kendall.
Tucker's good to go. Yeah.
That was a fun.
And Aaron, and Corey, we had a great time. That was a fun.
People forget the Florida guys don't really have we don't take time off, so we're always shooting, and we do shooting hurricanes on occasion. So, but that's cool. Yeah, we had a really healthy community of wonderful people and shooters that just keep giving down here. And it makes me happy. I love what I do down here. I have so much fun. Such great people.
We got some lives here that are piling up. Greg, what do you got?
Let me get over lives.
We're gonna we got the meme of the week here coming on. I just want to hit one more topic before we get there, because
the meme of the week.
Meme of the week, which is a good one, I think. Well, there's plenty of good memes out there, especially this week. But
oh gosh. All right, we got a lot
people
of
getting
lives.
stir crazy for sure. Over meming. I've been over meming. I apologize to my Instagram followers.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lots of people saying they need one of the shot timers.
Sam says, do you set up your laser so it's parallel to your bullet path, or do you set it up to be the point of impact at whatever distance you choose?
That's interesting. For that rifle, I'll probably zero it at 50. And that'll be that. It'll be point of aim, point of impact. But again, like depending where you put it on the gun, you have to know your offset. It's like anything else. You have to. Now is not the time to learn your gear and your stuff. So whatever you get, play with it. And we all play with our stuff. I mean, thousands of hours dry firing in underwear. I'm sure it's probably cumulative right here for at least the dudes just running around the house. Same with the lasers.
That was
But
details I didn't need,
sit
but
there
okay.
in shorts, Jennifer, and your wife beater. Yeah, that's it. The best meme I've seen of this whole thing was that every guy during this pandemic is in a wife beater and his underwear on his couch, which would be like that. So, and it's true. People are unkept right now, and they're looking kind of scary. And I think the zombie thing will be absolutely crazy if it kicks off, because there's gonna be some ugly zombies out there, real bad.
There you go. Any more live?
See, Chad said he likes 90-second stages. They are fun. It's a lot more of a rush.
What's the longest PRS stage? While we're still on this topic, real quick.
2 minutes.
Like a minute and a half.
2 minutes is the
2
longest
minutes?
I've ever seen.
Yeah, as long as I've ever shot.
And that's at a generous match usually. There's a lot.
Well, maybe
of
we can drag you two down here to South Florida, because we got some neat stuff. The Tradecraft Range is a 2-mile range out there. So maybe I can convince some, like the last people, we can do some shooting in some buildings. I want to do some urban stuff down here. So
that'd be cool.
Let's do some urban PRS. Like,
would you like that? Because we've been talking about that. I talked to Joe Burdick, who runs all kinds of cool stuff, and I brought him down there and I took him to prison a couple years ago, and we were talking about it. How do you set it up where you're shooting out of a building across 300 yards into another building through a window? Like, we can do that, but it's logistics of the safety
school bus
of that.
stage.
Yeah, but imagine, like, at least this facility and others, having a lot of space to do it with. There's a lot of really unique ranges, but everyone has its own solution to do things successfully, and it's a pain in the butt sometimes.
And cool ranges and cool props is kind of what makes it a lot more fun, because even though you're doing the same thing, whether you're shooting off of a plywood barricade, from on top of a bunch of connexes out 1,000 yards, or shooting from inside of a prison into the back of a prison bus, it's just a lot more cool when you get to do it in places like that. Like, we got a place near us called GTI.
Yeah.
Government Training Institute, and they have it was a
Do
nuclear
they have a little
facility.
Connex farm thing? They get a whole Connex set up over there with a bunch of, like, a whole shooting Connex compound. Is that GTI?
No,
It used to be a nuclear. Well, it was meant to be a nuclear facility that Jimmy Carter's administration nixed, so it never was. But it is built, and they have like a 10-story tower that they go and shoot out of the tower.
Oh, heck yeah.
It's really cool.
I love cool, unique facilities like that, where you're like, no one else is building this, or this is just nice. I love the big range in Blakely too. You guys have been out there. It's, again, had a bunch of names, but it's like a couple thousand acres in Blakely, and that place is just neat.
We shoot PRS matches there.
Yes, I love that place. That's a cool place.
It's arena now, right?
Kevin says if you need help unloading your full auto stuff so that you can do PRS, to let him know.
I appreciate that, Kevin. Good looking out. Yeah.
Sam said urban PRS would be sweet, and it sounds a lot like what they did at the GTI Guardian match.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how many of you guys own AKs? I'm curious.
Yeah.
I don't.
Anthony, you said you didn't have an AK, right?
I always wanted one, but never wanted to like spend the money on one, because I don't know. Like, there was one time I got a Draco, right? I put money down on a Draco, and then I took the money back and put it towards a pistol. Like, I almost had one, and I always kind of wanted one, but never spent the money on one, right?
You almost had an AK?
I almost had an AK. It was that close. Okay. I like them, but I don't know. It's like, especially now that the AR market has, like, you can get an AR for well under $1,000. That's pretty solid. It's like the AKs went up and the ARs went down. Before, a few years ago, it was vice versa. Before, you can get an AK for $300-400 and you were rocking.
I remember that, except for I was in like high school, and $300 or $400 was a lot of money.
Yeah.
AKs are doing some crazy stuff. So this gun right here, this is a pistol And I shot this at Red October, I think 3 years ago, I trained up the Century Arms guy. And the Century Arms is a crazy company. Those guys are great. Their director of sales, guy named Jason, was out there, and I trained them up for a couple of years ago, and he was shooting holes in a hole at 100 yards with this AK pistol. And I would have called BS all day, every day, had I not been there and helped him do it. And the following year, I took the same gun and shot those AK matches. I love AK matches. I'm hooked. And then we're going to start running them down here. I'd love to pull you guys into some of the stuff, but it's literally as far away from PRS as you get. Because I want to do AK stuff, though, like shoot through a cinder block, like to a pepper popper. To me, that's some AK stuff, right? Like, let's do some real. So if you check out my Instagram, I did that. I did a test about 2 years ago at the big prison facility. And I took some cinder blocks, and we were going to build a wall. We're going to build a couple of them. And so you'd have to shoot through this wall of blocks to the target. And then we'd set up multiples. So each shooter would go. And then after all the shooters shot, then they go out there and they reset it up. Cinder blocks aren't cheap, but I thought it would be cool. It'd be different. But I don't know. We'll see if this stuff gets going. If we aren't zombies in a year. So whatever.
Yeah. I mean, how many seasons? 2 seasons now with an AK?
Yeah. And, you know, I gotta thank the guys at Century, because they gave me the Canik, Century, US Palm. They're just cool. They had their COO and the director of sales shooting with me and Nils at the Vegas match last year. I mean, tell me another company where the big company where your executives are out there dragging freaking things around, throwing stuff, jumping through, you know, all the stuff that these match directors have us do. I mean, that's pretty cool. And they're excited to do stuff down here. And if this COVID stuff will go away, we're going to have a pretty cool AK year or years. We'll see. Yeah. So, and I'm bringing you, Anthony. Yeah. Here's your gun, Anthony.
Thank you. With
a Crimson Trace optic on it.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, so I mean, you've been shooting that in 3-gun style matches, and it's very uncommon to kind of see an AK and 3-gun being ran, especially for a full season. Some people will pull them out just, you know, to have fun, or you know what I mean. But the hardcore go at it with an AK for an entire 2 seasons is interesting. I mean,
I haven't shot it exclusively. I haven't shot it exclusively. I've shot the AK in a lot of local 3-gun matches, but I shoot my AR for some of the bigger matches. But
there you go. I mean, what are your thoughts on the AK overall, and what are the advantages of the AK over the AR in like a 3-gun or a carbine kind of match?
An AK cannot hang with an AR with optics toe to toe. But I was even trying to get 3GN to put in an AK division. I did a whole I've got so many white papers on stuff I've written up that have come and gone, and maybe we'll see the light of day sometime later. But I don't care what it is, as long as the apples are apples. The AK will go through stuff, right? And again, I don't want to start the whole internet fight on AKs versus ARs, but it's just a different thing. You know, I know guys that shoot really well in a platform, and they just decide they want to play dress up because they got tired of shooting it. And other guys just switch guns. You know, like I've seen guys dress up in authentic World War II stuff, shooting stuff. I just like to shoot AKs because they're different. I don't want to do any of the other crazy stuff. And I think a lot of people get AKs before they get ARs, or at least they used to. I don't know if they do that anymore, Anthony. From what you see, is that the same? Because it used to be the AK was $300, the AR was more, and people would just get the AK because it was a cheaper solution at the time.
Yeah, it's changed. We definitely move more ARs than AKs. The AK guy, and I don't think the AK guy, that they're getting it because it's an AK and they kind of want one, but they're not getting it because, hey, I want to get into 3-gun, or hey, I want to shoot carbine matches, so let me go ahead and buy an AK. I think
those are cool. AKs are cool. AK pistols are cool. Like, there's the whole subculture that loves that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I can't stand that. I can't stand it. I see a lot of them, but you know, I get it. Hey, you throw a pistol brace on a Draco or a PAP or something like that, and that can be a very solid setup. But to run it without a brace, it's kind of a little weird. I mean, I get it.
Shoot a non-braced, non-right. To me, that's, I guess, you need a car gun or movie gun. I don't know. But Dracos are fun though, and if you ever shoot one, you get it. You know, they're cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Speaking of different AKs, Mike wants to know what your thought is on the new 9mm one from PSA.
Who's he asking?
You.
as a shooter for Century Arms, I would let you know that I'm sure the PSA gun is great. However, I prefer my Visca.
Yeah, that's like a total ball player, like kind of like let's try to drag him into deep
and
waters.
if you'd like to shoot the NAC 9X, I can make that happen. But I have not shot their gun. I can't.
Yeah, there's a
Carlos
lot.
says an AR is superior in every way, and Kevin says not if they're both covered in sand and then fired.
All right, Kevin knows what's up. I'm not even going to get into that, guys. Find what you like, get good at it. I don't care. I don't have a dog in this fight. Like, I'll shoot everything. You could put a Derringer in front of me. Let's see who can hit the target. I don't care. Do not care.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not knowledgeable as far as an AK. Like I said, I never owned one. I'm sure we can look up stats and why everybody used them as a battle platform. And I've heard of stories that you just take your AK and you dip it in an oil barrel and it's good forever. I've heard stories, I've heard those stories. You dip it in some Mobile One that you use to put in your car or whatever. I don't know. You always got those stories of reliability and legendary reliability from an AK.
So I'll tell you a confession. So I've not cleaned my Visca that I shot last year. I've never cleaned it ever. And I was shooting it a lot to see at what point would it mess up. And AKs aren't known for messing up. And I haven't cleaned it. I don't know when I will, but AKs are reliable. The world loves the AK-47 platform because it'll just keep going. And that, especially like given today's situation, that's kind of what you want, right? Don't get me wrong, I love my ARs, love all my firearms, but each one's different like every person, a little bit of personality. Some are good for something, some for others.
Absolutely.
So. Dylan says AR equals America's rifle.
Wow, really?
It does. I mean,
it's not automatic repeater.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I thought that stood for assault rifle.
No.
You always got that military side of folks. That's the gun of the enemy. You always got that, folks.
I wish people would just let calmer heads prevail with all this insanity going on.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, but that's the reason why I kind of always wanted one, especially during these times. You know what I mean? That AK, not only are that 7.62x39 really cheap, and you can get it in like by the thousands for like not a lot of money, and they run the cheapest of the cheap, like your steel case and all that stuff, and you really don't have to worry about it. AK mags are plentiful. You can probably, hey Todd, I need some 7.62x39, and he'll just throw me over like a few boxes, and I'll be set to make it through the next horde of zombies. But you can say the same thing. You can say the same thing with 223 and 5.56 though. And I think we're going down that rabbit hole of AR versus AK. We need to stop it because it'll take over the show.
Yeah. So I think the perfect gun is the 22 Magnum and full auto.
Yeah, there you go.
If you actually YouTube it, Toby from Caltech got crazy when he was inventing the RMR 30 or whatever it is, whatever that 20 the RMR 30 or whatever the 22 Magnum pistol they made. But he put a happy switch in and brought out the subgun matches. So he was shooting a little tiny 22 Magnum pistol with a 3D printed stock. It's gangster. There's like 40, 50,000 views. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, man. So get through it. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
There's some cool videos on YouTube about that.
We hinted at it. We're going to hit the meme of the week. We're trying to make this kind of like a weekly thing. That one's got some traction. All right. I posted it.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Believe it or not, my sister posted it. Then I shared it.
Is that a Cheeto? What is that on the bottom?
Yeah.
It's a crunchy Cheeto, not a regular one.
The crunchy Cheetos are legit.
They are. So. That's what I need while I'm quarantined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a meme of the week, and
that's great.
Very debatable, but I've been seeing a lot of those going around recently. Yeah, so.
I've been stir crazy. I've been shadow banned officially, like a bunch of, and I don't know if you have, Anthony. Do you know? Any of you guys know if you've been shadow banned by social media? Because I know like Joe Farrell is. I try to search for him and tag. I message Joe a lot. He's a good guy. We talk a lot, but he's been shadow banned for a long time. A lot of you guys, anyone that has anything done, just can't get the likes, man. It's getting kind of crazy out there with that stuff. So I don't know.
I mean, Facebook has really updated their algorithm as far as using the words 223. Like I posted up legit posted up a post, and I put like 7 rounds of 223 in a little Ziploc bag.
I saw that.
Right. And I said, we'll trade for some Charmin Ultra Soft. And I hit post, and immediately I was like, you they wagged their finger at me. They're like, you don't do that. That
They
goes
probably
against our
recognize the
gun
shape of the
policy.
projectile. That's crazy, man.
But I'm telling you, but then I had people send me direct messages saying that they've been 7-day jailed for Facebook. I mean, it's getting it's getting hard to post any firearms related content nowadays. And if you have a following, especially if you have a following, I heard that you're not getting the reach like you used to anymore.
Well, I had a hard time tagging you today, and I had a hard time. I mean, I have to go 4 pages deep. Heaven forbid you get on anyone that's, conservative or anything. It's a little weird. I'm all for people having their say, but I just couldn't block people the way that a lot of farms people are being blocked these days. It seems un-American to me, but whatever. It's not my company. I can always go somewhere else, I guess, right? That's their choice. So.
Correct. Yeah, there's just not many platforms out there that are allowing that type of voice to be heard. YouTube and Google and Facebook, which is now owned by Instagram, and it's been talked about by quite a few years now. People have been. It's just you
Ken's
can't.
Working on stuff.
You pour all the money in the platform, and then the platform doesn't really take off, and then it's just like. It's like if you don't get the reach on such and such platform, it's like, well, why? You get tired of using it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a hard thing, and I know it costs a lot of money to get a Facebook style social media platform going. So
yeah, I just fought tooth and nail for a week trying to get a guy who just sells targets to help him out, and just because he did gun stuff, they weren't letting. It took 2 weeks of trying, and finally got one ad approved. It's getting rough, but whatever. Mm-hmm. There's better days ahead.
It's getting rough.
Yeah.
Speaking of the apocalypse, what's the best vehicle choice for the zombie apocalypse, Todd? I know you posted this. I took this directly off your post.
Yeah, so Tundra seemed to be, Tacoma. And then there was a KLR, is it KLR 650 or it's a motorcycle if you're by yourself. I asked if you were by yourself, 2 people or family of 4 would be the best vehicle. And I asked for common vehicles, and it just seems like a good pickup truck. I think it was, I'll have to look. I think it was a lot of trucks, man. I really don't know. I think it's the one that you have that has a working engine and wheels, to be quite honest. But I think I'm going to be buying a truck here fairly soon. Just my car's had it.
So here's my answer to that question. This is
nice.
is my zombie apocalypse survival vehicle.
Is it a 4Runner?
Forerunner. Yep, it's a 4Runner.
Nice.
And I went back and forth in between the 4Runner or the Tacoma, but like when I'm traveling with $1,000 worth of rifles in the back of it, I kind of like that I can have them locked inside of the truck with me, or if I need to sleep in it or whatnot, it's not like I'm separated from everything in the back, and it'll do
nice
everything.
Those clouds are amazing in that photo. That's a really cool photo.
Dude, this was an awesome place. So we're on the we're somewhere in Kentucky. This was 2 years ago. We were racing a rally, and this was our campsite for the night. We had about 115 trucks with us. We raced from Tennessee.
That was 115. That's 115.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We started in Tennessee. We went into Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky. It was a pretty sweet race, but yeah, this is what I'm going to drive when the zombies come. You can't see the front bumper on it, but I could like drive over a Prius without scratching my paint.
Okay.
Yeah. I heard a lot of 4x4 diesels. I've seen a lot of those comments in your thread there.
Yeah. Oh, the idea of a motorcycle seems interesting. I'd love to have a truck like yours, but with it towing or hauling a bike, because that's the perfect getaway thing. But it's funny. Everyone's going through the apocalyptic zombie, fantasy process right now. I've seen more memes and other stuff of more people like, bring the zombies, But we've been like Walking Dead inundated as a culture, I think,
Or how about the there's been 400 different versions of it, but what I pictured the zombie apocalypse to be like, and it's a picture out of a movie or some crazy brave warrior.
Yeah.
And then
well, we're looking at it right now. I mean, we're headed that way. So
Did you see the guy that went into a COVID testing site and got tested? And when he walked out the door, he walked out and like started acting like a zombie. And all the girls in there were laughing and thought it was hilarious. Yeah. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Definitely some humor coming out of all this. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, I think that the meme game is on point with everybody on quarantine right now because everybody's bored. So like, Ryan Hay, I love Ryan Hay. Hey, Ryan Hay. He usually watches, but he sends me memes all the time. Like, keep your chin up, you know, being in the middle of all this crap. And he's always sending memes. And I have a little group with him and Regina and Janae, and they'll send me little memes to, I just start laughing. Middle of the day, I'll be like all frustrated. I look on there and I just laugh because there's like 10 memes in there that are hilarious.
I wish George Carlin were still alive because that guy would be killing it right now with jokes. I mean, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but that dude is just funny. And he called all of us BS in our government and society and culture. He always called it out. He made fun of my name. I was actually on a date, saw him live, and he made fun of guys named Todd and Carl. It was horrible. And to sit there and watch someone that you like making fun of your name while your whole family's laughing at you was a bit different experience. So,
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Gotta laugh. Yeah. So I've been hearing around the interwebs, people are saying that 3-gun is dead and PRS is the new hotness. I mean, I do love PRS. But what are your thoughts? Like, seriously, do you think there's been a decline in the local and major 3-gun matches, or what? What's your take?
That's a tough question because my biggest issue where I run matches is stability because I've been bouncing between ranges and who's owning or renting or leasing. And, I don't think so. At least not down here. I mean, my biggest match was 85 people. Smallest match probably during the summer of 2018, maybe like 20 people, where I set up a practice match. But to me, at least, it's such a big community around. There's probably 5 million people between Key West and West Palm. So I got a big pool to draw from. So as long as the announcements are done ahead of time, we're good. And South Florida is so healthy. You got Shannon Smith up at Universal. You got Volusia. There's so much going on here that you'd have to be shut in like COVID to not shoot. Because literally in Miami, you can shoot, I think 5 days between pistol, 3-gun and other stuff, or 2-gun, 5 days any week, any month. That's kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They
shoot
jealous.
Nights here. They shoot night matches. They shoot 2-gun at night on the fourth Thursday. They shoot every Thursday night. There's like 70 people shooting USPSA here. It's nuts. At night. Starts in the day, then the lights turn on. It's good.
Yeah. What does it start at? What does it start at? 6?
Like 6:30. Then you get people strolling in after that. We have a wonderful community down here. If you guys get a chance, man, give me a holler if you get down here. I'll take care of you for sure.
I'm wondering if that's the same 2-gun night match that one of our friends was shooting.
It's run by the Tropical Shooting Sports Association. A guy named Jim Griff, Roger Zimmerman run it.
I don't think they're near Turner, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was thinking, I know. Well, you
that's
never know.
Across the country. I know it's to Florida, but it's across the country. It's
like Panhandle.
Right. But remember, Turner's the one that'll drive 10 hours just to come and hang out with us for the weekend up here. So it's not out of the ordinary for him to go and drive that far for a match.
So do you guys think you could do it's possible to run a match with multiple disciplines at once? Could you run a 3-gun match with a PRS match going simultaneously?
It really depends on the facility.
I don't know, maybe.
Like
I think we could probably do it down here at the Tradecraft range. We've done some crazy stuff out there. I want to get like 3-gun, 2-gun, PCC, and pistol only for this. I'm going to do a Miami Vice theme match at the end of the year if things clear up, where you have to
with
dress
the tacky Hawaiian shirts.
Hell yeah, you come correct, girl. Yeah. So we'll see. We're working on some really neat things. I need the space to do it in. We're getting there.
Yeah, mixing in PRS, I think, would be the hard one because it would be a completely and totally different course of fire on a completely and totally different range. But if you're sticking with, various
designated sniper, you're basically the. I mean, imagine the PRS guy kicks off the match, and then you get your shots. You say go. Your guy does his stuff, or girl does their stuff, and I think it could be a neat.
Oh, kind of like a team type deal.
Yeah. So
that would be cool.
So let me explain to you guys the craziness that got me hooked into all the shooting sports. My very first submachine gun match ever. I met a guy on the internet who's now one of my closest friends. I said, hey, I'm buying some stuff. he says, hey, come on out. You can shoot all of mine. It's a big subgun match. I said, cool. And so what it was is it was actually a memorial match for a guy who had passed who shot cowboy action shooting and submachine guns.
Oh, that
So
would
this
be
guy-
super cool.
That would be awesome.
So this guy passed in his chair loading rounds for cowboy action, I think is how he died. In his living room watching TV, loading up rounds in his chair, right? So all his cowboy friends, all of his subgun friends got together. So my very first competitive match ever was me with a full auto, partnered with a guy named Turkey Creek Red, who, if you're watching this, awesome guy. And so every stage, he would do his cowboy thing. Like imagine you're holding a pan and you're like, oh, they're wrestling the cattle. And you throw it and you start doing your cowboy stuff. So he had to do his cowboy thing. I did my thing. And it was nuts. And then they did this barbecue later. And one of the guys brought all this, the food he brought, it was, he had hunted some geese and venison, and with this great barbecue. And I sat there beside myself after shooting like 5 stages thinking, this goes on every month. Like I thought this was the norm, right? I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. And it was just cool. I was hooked from then on. But to sit there and watch a guy shoot the cowboy action and then shoot after him and just, mow down everything that he just went ding, ding, ding. It was a unique experience. Fun.
So when I was at doing a lot of Atlanta 3-gun, I went down one day to help set up on Saturday. Were those matches on Sunday? Anyway,
Yeah, I think
I went the day before to help set up, and they were having a cowboy action match
Cool.
at that range on the other bays. And so like in between setting up, we like just sat there and watched them. And I was like, I mean, those guys are super fast. Like, that's when 3-gun was like in the big prime and everybody's like, oh, we're fast. We're 3-gunners. We're fast, And then this guy gets up there. It's all single action. And he's like,
Yeah.
and I was like,
It's so nice to watch, though, isn't it? When you see someone who's
It's
good at
so
something do
cool.
it well, it's like,
it's so
Yeah.
cool.
yeah.
I loved it. I was like, oh my God, like, I don't think I could do this, but I kind of want to come watch it like on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So back to your match idea, Kevin said that something about he's bringing GSL suppressors for them all. Oh no, they all need to buy GSL suppressors before the match. That would be cool.
Yeah.
And Brian said,
There's a big difference there.
Yeah. That was a pretty big pivot.
Yeah.
one of the two. He
Here
didn't
you
really
go, man. I need that
specify.
money now. That's like the Super Troopers. Like, how much weed did you eat? I'm gonna need that money. So,
And then Brian said he thinks that Hunter's HD Gold Tent needs to come down to South Florida for this after the crisis.
Brian is
Yeah.
cool. You guys all know Brian. He's such a neat dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Positive. Like, I love people like that. And like, you guys know Mackenzie. Like, there's all these awesome, smiley people just running around doing goodness. And those two, like, it's like that. I love people.
Yeah,
Positive vibes. Let's do this.
Let's get out of it, but we do have another giveaway for next week's show that's going to feature some Hunter HD Gold eyewear. So
Ooh.
we got the US Palm, we got the Crimson Trace stuff with Todd for this week. We will announce the winner of this giveaway next week on the Shooter's Mindset, and then we'll have another giveaway featuring some Hunter HD Gold eyewear. That's already.
I love mine. I wore mine this
Me
weekend. I
too.
was outside and reading, and it was kind of overcast, but kind of not. So I wore mine, and they changed as I needed them to change. And they had the little prescription, just little baby prescription that I require because I'm getting a little older.
You talking about
I
that
got
one that has different
one is a bad
focuses for different
prescription.
distances?
Bifocals, right?
Bifocals.
I'm not speaking to either.
I love my HD 100 Gold. I thought a lot of this stuff with the gun community, and I'm sure you guys are the same. You think like, it's just another thing, and then you try it. And
I thought it was completely not. I thought it was nonsense.
Yeah, so I thought Tactical Rage Break was hokey, and I thought that HD 100 Gold, it's just it's just gold. But then when I use both, to me, it's like I will not go back to what I used before.
Well, have you gone to
I thought it was
Cabela's?
yellow tinted lenses. That's it.
Mhm. Have you gone to
Yeah.
Cabela's and bought the little eyewear that's the yellow tinted glasses?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, whatever, they're yellow tinted. And then I got those and I was like, oh no, these are a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
It makes everything much clearer. You can see,
Yeah.
and then they change, they get darker.
Yeah.
I thought it was complete hocus, and then I thought, then everybody was like promoting them. I knew some local shooters who were pushing it, and I'm like, And then I'll go to the website. I'm like, it's still Hocus, you know.
Did you run
But-
into Luigi? Because like Brian
Yeah.
got with Luigi and a couple other people, and I
Yeah.
couldn't. Once I saw the yellow, I couldn't stop seeing the yellow glasses everywhere, and it was like, okay, Brian, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're taking over my internet right now.
Yeah,
So-
it was Luigi and then the Tandem Cross folks. So I was sponsored by Tandem Cross for a couple years, and like everybody in Steel Challenge had this eyewear.
Yeah.
It
But they're
was
so good.
everywhere.
I like them. I need some custom frames, Brian. We're gonna talk after this. So.
Yeah.
Oh, mine are in my little Oakley. I wear children's Oakleys because I'm narrow through here and I don't like looking like a bug. And I was like, whenever we were talking to him, I was like, well, but you know, I wear kids Oakleys. He's like, I can make them for that. So he made custom lenses for my children's Oakley frames that I love.
And see,
Not
I just
another one
wear
of
the
those
same
people-
exact sunglasses all the time, and I was like, I'm just so comfortable in them. So I
Yeah.
sent them to him, and now they're HD golds.
Yeah, he doesn't mess around. He's definitely a solution-minded kind of person, right? Like, hey, we don't do that now, but we can do it, which is, I like people like that, you know? I don't like the word no. I think everything's possible if you put enough into it most of the time.
Hey, so
Yeah.
speaking of possible, I think Brian's watching now. Brian, Wayne said, I wish we could get the Hunters HD Gold in Canada. So we got some Canadians that want some glasses, now.
You might have to smuggle them if the border's closed.
Yeah. Hey, send them to me. I'll send them to you. Just throw me a couple bucks for shipping. We'll get them to you, man.
I may or
Figure it
may
out.
not have gotten something to my friend in Australia that way. The company would not deliver to Australia, so she ordered them to my house and then I sent them to her.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. So are you guys all self-quarantine? I'm curious because Anthony looks like he's been in for a month.
Yeah.
So I'm loving the beard, Anthony. I think it's great.
Thanks. But no, I've been working every day, working in the firearms industry. We're considered essential.
Thank you for doing what you got to do, my man.
Yeah, so I've been in it, and they were starting to make us wear masks and gloves and anything. I wasn't with it, but now it's like uniform. Like
Yeah.
the owner's like, dude, if you don't wear this N95 mask, you're pack up your shit. I'm like, really? And
But
I
Y'all
kind
wear
of,
it's better safe than
N95?
sorry, man. It
Wait,
yeah,
really
we got
is.
N95s?
yeah, we do actually.
They're not regular masks, they're N95s.
Send me a DM.
Oh my
we
God.
might have some N95s. Yeah, we do have. They ordered a box. I don't know. He ordered a box for the employees. It's not like we have an abundance of them, but they are. And at least they say N95 on the
Y'all know
package.
there's nurses that don't have N95s.
Well, at the
See-
gun range, we have N95s.
See,
Yeah.
my
There's a lot
company
of
was
people
it's
that
not
have
like-
a lot right now.
It's not like we have an ass load of them. But we do have some N95s.
So an ass load, exactly what? How does that fit? You got a shitload, an ass load, a wee.
Yeah, ass load is above the shitload. So we do have
Is it? Okay.
like one box. Yeah.
How large of a
N95.
box?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I wasn't with wearing them because I'm like, dude, it impedes you if you wear them right. And someone cued me in on this because I wasn't wearing it right. When I
You have to
They're
pinch
like,
it around, and
Yep.
it should be where, like, when we do fit testing, they put a hood over us, and they make you breathe in, and they spray saccharin, and if you can smell or taste it, then it's not right.
yeah,
That's
it
great.
started to impede my breathing. I'm like, dude, how am I supposed to work? I can I get chest pains here. I can't even fucking breathe in this thing.
Yeah,
And
it's not a real good seal going on there with your beard too. So that's kind
Yeah,
of
you're
supposedly you're
not-
not N95
you're not getting
protected
close
when
in.
you have a beard.
You're
This beard
supposed to
is
shave it, Anthony.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Why don't you
you're
do the
gonna have
Fu
to shave
Manchu
it
or
off
something,
somewhere.
Anthony? You could rock
Yeah,
that.
I got the mask on and like hair sticking out the side of the mask. It's all over the place, man.
You're gonna have to
Whatever.
shave that now.
Yeah, apparently so. So there it is.
There was a
Any-
meme of like 4 male nurses with their beards, and then it was the 4 male nurses without their beards, and it said, "Thanks, Corona."
Oh wow. There you
They
go.
look
They had to
very
shave.
different.
Anything else live? If not, I think we can kind of wrap this one up.
We could wrap it up.
Yep. Brian said they do ship to Canada. You just got to go and check the website for details. They have a dealer there.
Woohoo!
Ooh, someone
Ian-
reading the interwebs.
Yeah.
Ian said hello from Fort Benning, Georgia. There's a place with some good 3-gun.
Yeah, my gosh, the best. Well, it's back to being great. So, yeah. Yeah, the state of 3 guns, and curious. We've had some interesting things go on in the past 18 months or so.
Yeah.
I'm very hopeful for the future, though.
No more 3-gun nation, right? Is
I
that
don't know.
is that
Yeah, I think-
completely gone, or because I heard it was gone and then it came back and then it's gone?
So 3-Gun Nation, I mean, I am doing 3-Gun stuff directly because of 3-Gun Nation. I really hope that they can persevere. I don't know. I think they missed their opportunity to maximize their profit on what they're doing. But if you guys look back, we kind of lived through what right now seems like the heyday, but was hopefully the first big buildup of 3-Gun. I think we'll have another one here, but I don't know. 3-Gun Nation did their nationals last year. It was a light crowd. It was a fun match. It was a great match. A lot of real neat stuff going on, but just again, things kind of waned on that. When you asked Jennifer about things are dropping off, that match didn't have it. But again, there's a lot of other factors that go into any match being successful or not. So I can't say it was promotion or it was ambiguity on who's running things or this, that, and the other for any of these events. I mean, we all have it's a crap roll no matter what. Any of this stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think
Okay.
I don't know if you guys shoot a match if you had to wear protective gear, be isolated. Would you shoot a mask or a match in a mask or gloves, or if you were the only person on that stage, or
I think
two
if
people
it,
were on a stage at a time, would you find that?
I think if it was something that played into the match, like I don't think
Yeah.
shooting a PRS rifle with a full military gas mask would work. But I think doing a pistol match or a 3-gun match wearing some sort of zombie themed match where you're, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you played in the storyline and kind of the role of
I
the
love
match, I think it'd be
themes.
cool. Yeah, me too.
I mean, I swear to God, it's the little things. Like we did this amazing match with Crimson Trace in August of 18 where we did a night match. We called it Crimson Moon. And somehow I convinced the guys to build one of those Dexter kill rooms with a black light and the plastic in the shoot house. And we did that. I have to find the blood and everything else, but it was neat. And everyone was like, oh my gosh, it was blind. Like they saw the first room, but when they got in there, they didn't know what was in there. And so it was black lights and glow in the dark blood and lasers and lights. And it was creepy, like Halloween horror room, kind of cool. But then you're sort of thinking like, wait, this is themed, but it's kind of dark, but it was a lot of fun. So I get conflicted on these things. We do things.
The Guardian
kind of
match that they
pictures
did
are
at
kind
GTI, which is the
Yeah.
old nuclear facility, they did it was very theme heavy. Like he put things out on the internet a month before it, like recordings, like psyching you up for it about that it was like a zombie apocalypse kind of thing. And I mean, they had stages where it was a 5-minute stage, but you had to go into a room and you had to find your way out of the room, like find the clue that had the code that would get you out of the room so that you could actually get to the part where you shoot.
I love that stuff. To me, that's
Most of
so satisfying.
I'm pretty sure every single stage, they didn't tell you where the targets were. You had to get out there and find them. Some of them I do not think were known distances. So you had to range it, get the distance, get the dope, do all that on the clock. So it was a lot of different stuff. They had rappelling
down like a tube,
down a big
something.
pipe. Apparently somebody fell, and anyway, we won't talk about that. But
gravity's a pain.
gravity hurts. The older you get, the more it hurts. But no, but it was really cool. They did a lot of really cool stuff. But the whole match was a theme.
Yeah,
I like it. I mean, I'm at the point where, like before, like I really cared like where I placed, and if I didn't place where I expected I should have placed, I was bummed the whole ride back home. You know what I mean? Especially if I rode 15 hours to a match or yada yada. Now I'm at the point where I just want to have as much fun as I possibly can. Like, so those theme matches, even, and we talked about it earlier, shooting with a gas mask, because you can't get the proper cheek weld with a gas mask, so it changes the whole thing. And even if you're running plate carriers, like I tried a plate carrier on the other day, if you have a plate carrier on, you cannot get that rifle sat where you're accustomed to without it. So it's a different it's a whole different scenario running that gear with an AR or
Well, like
an
what
AK.
Greg said. So imagine this, Greg. Like, have you ever tried to shoot your rifle with a gas mask on? It's a very weird thing. It's a different thing, and that's why like lights and lasers and I would not want to be a person in a defensive situation with their rifle, realizing that they've got this protective gear on and they don't know how to accurately aim it or deal with the situation. You never want to be learning your stuff when it's time to use your stuff. And we see that a lot, especially with three gun and other sports. Like I do that, like, hey, who here has a gun they've never shot before at the beginning of the matches? And every once in a while there's someone like, oh, got it yesterday. Can we zero before the first stage? No.
Yeah.
But okay, we'll help you.
And we were talking about this last week when we were talking about dry firing. When I was first getting into PRS, I'd come home and I'd dry fire my gym shorts and a t-shirt. And I have unlimited flexibility in this. So then I'd get out to the match in 511s and different shoes and be like, oh, I can't bend my body this way with
He came off the stage and I'm like, what happened? Why did you not kneel like I showed you how to kneel? Because I couldn't make my legs go that way in my pants. I was like, what?
Yeah. But that's the horrible truth of these sports is like, it's all good until it isn't. And it's funny when especially if you're RO a lot and you're the range officer and you're watching a lot of people and you hear people swearing and cursing and freaking out or how everyone handles their F up differently. So I've heard more people that I would thought just normal, everyday, conservative people drop some of the most horrific swear words during a stage because things just didn't go their way. And I love every second of it. It's just like, well, Grandma Johnson, sorry that MFR of a target got in your way, So, yeah, I love these sports.
I wish Kate was watching so we could talk about her.
Oh.
So, Anthony, you should get Andy Horner on. I would love for you guys to do a combination of some of the craziest stuff and coolest stuff. I was talking to Andy Horner a year or two ago, and I think Daniel Horner had made a stage for the Blue Ridge match. They just handed him a tablet. I don't know if any of you guys shot that match, but they just handed him a tablet. It was a blind thing where you went up, there was like an ammo can, a tablet, and you had to get your instructions off of this tablet, and it was very controlled in how you did it. And I don't want to do an injustice, but if someone out there to explain how the thing happened, I talked to guys that shot it who were just beside themselves. Like, we didn't know what to do. We're given this, that, and the other. We're told to shoot this stuff, and there's a timer, and just the mental, even the most put together people having these mental conundrums of what did this match director just do to me? And where's my sanity and integrity at the end of the stage? So, and it's an awesome story if he could tell you because it sounded like a total goat rope. And I guess one person, whoever you are, congratulations, one guy shot it clean. And everyone else, it was an absolute shit show. And I love that stuff because it took everyone and said, your comfort zone, goodbye, So, yeah, you get used to the format and then you're asked to step outside of it. And that, to me, that's where you really grow as a person, right? Like a blind stage, I don't know what's in there. Let's go see what I can do. And there's a lot of truths and lessons to be learned inside of areas you've never been before where you have to perform. So
well, that's like last year.
I can't imagine not shooting.
Last year at the so all season in PRS, everybody was using tripods as rear support. I don't know if that is cheap or not, Todd, but you can use the leg of a tripod as a rear support. And people got used to doing that all season. And then at the finale, they said, okay, if you want to use your tripod, you have to deploy it on the clock. So it has to be collapsed and folded up, and then you have to deploy it. So people had to decide, like me, I was like, I'm just not going to use it. I would do better to not use it. And I don't use my tripod a ton anyway. But people that heavily depend on their tripod. Did you do well without it? I did okay.
Number 5 female in the world.
About where I thought I would do. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't winning or anything, but this was the finale where all the top shooters were. So I was just glad to be there. I didn't care if I was last.
Yeah.
And I wasn't last. So that,
Thanks for showing up.
But yeah, it was funny to watch some of the people just derail thinking they could not stop laughing. He's laughing because somebody that stayed with us, I yelled at and told him to stop because all he did was fuss about. I'm like, get over it. Move on. But it's funny to watch how everybody just derailed because it got them completely out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
They were used to using that and having that. And then when they couldn't, it just totally threw them. So I agree with you. Sometimes I think the matches
I
that are the
love
most
that.
fun take people out of their comfort zone and put you into harder stuff.
Yeah.
You're always going to have people complain about that are the raw competitors and want to finish. And they're like, well, that's not completely fair all around, especially if you're moving targets up, moving you know, I mean, there's always going to, you're never going to make everybody happy.
Well, you
like,
could
at this
put
point,
on the
I love
best
those
match
matches.
that's ever been put on, and someone's going to complain about it. And as a
Yeah.
match director, as a stage designer, you have to. I've never built something. I don't think for anyone else. I do it for myself. I learn, I grow, I get better by doing it. I enjoy it. I don't go to the gym. I build stages, you know, and I've never. But again, I guess it's a mindset. I've always wanted to find where I'm weak so I can make myself better. But there's also, we've seen it, there's people out there that want validation for what they've been doing. And then when you take away part of how they've been doing what they're doing, they get very frustrated. And I've seen everything from anxiety to anger. I saw that and I thought, okay, like I'm strong. I'm not that. I can't do that. But I think that's the fun plans all day, every day.
Yeah.
You guys are all
I
frozen.
agree.
My video is
yeah.
frozen.
Yeah, the lag is starting to pick up. We're starting to get a little laggy here in the end. I think it's a good time to kind of wrap this one up here and head down the shout outs here before the lag gets any bad. But I'm glad we were able to make it through the show because it was real laggy in the pre-show. So I'm glad this happened to work out. But shout outs here. Jen, you usually start us off. What do we got?
Yep. Shout out to Prime Ammunition, McMillan Stocks, Night Force Optics, Warren Scope Mounts, GSL Suppressors, HD Gold, Vortec, Under Industries for awesome jerseys, Shooters of Augusta and Sharpshooters of Augusta, and Phone Scope.
Boom.
Phone
Greg, what do you got?
I got Shooters and Sharpshooters of Augusta. Our local ranges here, they're still open. They have ammo ranges are open, whole 9 yards. PDC Custom, if you want one of the most beautiful rifle chassis known to man, they're available in the beautiful lime green or actual like normal people colors. Not sure why you'd want one of those. NDZ Performance to build a really sweet Gucci Glock phone scope. Shooter's World Propellant, again, they still don't have an actual powder shortage, so any place that sells it, they still have it in stock. Hunter's HD Gold, we kind of talked about them for just a couple minutes tonight. Vortec, if you're home, alone, quarantined, bored, it's a great time to clean your rifle. Head over to their website, check it out. They have, if you haven't seen some of their products, it'll absolutely blow you away. I didn't know that you could like have the Cadillac of gun cleaning equipment, but they sell it all there.
Todd, you got to check out this Vortex shit. I mean, gun cleaning is not very interesting. It's not interesting, right? But until you see their stuff and you're like, holy shit, like who thought of this and who's the genius?
So they have the Coke bottle adapter that'll slip over your muzzle. So if you want to clean in your...
It's a legit 2-liter. But someone up here was thinking because it's genius.
The bore guides, instead of just being like a bore guide, it has a little like shelf on it. So instead of taking your patch and trying to dip it in there or drop stuff on it or whatever and get it all over the place, you put your patch on the little shelf. Yeah. You put a couple drops of their eliminator cleaner on it, and then you just stab it straight through the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Todd, shout out to your end, man. What do you got?
Stab it. In my end.
Yeah, shout out
everybody. So, wow. I would just say every range officer and shooter that's ever shot anything near and around me, and everyone that's ever shot a match with me, first, thank you for making it happen. But oh my gosh, Tactical, Century Arms, Crimson Trace, Canik USA, Canik Arms, Cadwell, Phil Zero, some love from Vortex, and yeah. So Cadwell and you guys, I gotta say this. So Bad Defense, myself, and my buddy Chris with the minigun. We're putting out some pretty cool videos here in a minute, and I just got to say this. We spent the 16th flying around a helicopter shooting stuff, and I cannot say it enough. When that thing lands, it's going to be an awesome amount of video. So I hope you guys look for that. But Tactical is one of my favorite sponsors. I know Brian and Jan over there are also friends of yours, Anthony. So I think I get a little bit better coupon code than you tonight too. I'm sorry, dude. I don't want to show you up on your own show.
Yeah. No, we totally forgot the discount corner here because it's just a conversation kind of sometimes carry us past it. Yeah, but Todd has a 15. Yeah, Todd has a 15% off code, and I have a 10% off code. What's your code, real quick, for Tactical?
What if I have a 25% off code just for you today?
25% off. There we go. Yeah. What do you got? What is it?
So it's Multi-Gun 25, and it is for, let me take a look. I think it's for holsters. It is for the UM3 mounts, which are the mount that goes on. It's for the mounts and holsters. So man, they're good people. There's so many good people with good products. We're lucky. Very lucky.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they are definitely good people, man. And Brian's always thinking about new stuff every time I talk to him. So very interesting company. Check them out.
Guys, you should get them on. That guy's the biggest gun nerd I know. And that guy thinks of stuff when he's just in the shower, sleeping, whatever. And he'll file a patent a week, man. That's crazy. Guys.
Yeah, we did have him on. It was probably a couple years. I think it was we did have a Tactical show, but we did have Brian on. So just hit up YouTube Shooter's Mindset featuring Tactical or Shooter's Mindset Tactical. You'll see that show pop up. Shout out to my end. If you're watching on the YouTube side of things, right below the video, yellow subscribe button, hit that. Every Tuesday, new episode of the Shooter's Mindset. We've been pumping out a lot of we still have SHOT Show video queued up. It's like, well, ain't nothing else going on. It's not like we have NRA convention video or anything like that. So we've been kind of slacking ass on the SHOT Show video. So that's still coming out. We put out like 3 or 4.
Can't help I worked so hard.
Yeah, like Jen completely get some videos, and she like totally smashed it. Like how
Greg was there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no voice.
Smashed it out. What'd you do?
Like a video,
so
like a million videos.
I did like 10 to 12 videos a day. Booth videos.
Really?
We did a video every 30 minutes, all day, every day at SHOT.
Yeah, this one was like, what are we doing? We're going to this other booth, and I just kept moving.
That's impressive.
Yep.
You were just cutting people off, though, right? Because you had to shut people down to be able to do that. It's like, hi, you gotta go. Bye.
I had appointments. I had 30-minute appointments, and I would show up ready to do the appointment, and it was a 10-minute video, 5-minute video, something like that, and then I would book it to the next place. And I did not I did not get to go look at any booths for fun that I wanted to. It was all just, I don't know. I'm funny though, because I feel like people get into SHOT Show like that don't really belong in SHOT Show. And I feel like if I'm there on a media pass, I should earn my media pass. I should not be just hanging out. I hang out at Circle Bar, but not, when I'm in the show, I work. So.
Some people believe the virus was at SHOT already.
Dude, that's where I got sick. The last couple of days at SHOT, I was for almost all of February, I was out of it. I mean, I started to recover.
I was dead at SHOT. Thankfully, I was better the next week, but
you did not have coronavirus.
I did not have coronavirus.
You had first time at SHOT Show virus.
Oh yeah, I was puking all over the place. I had no voice. It was terrible. But hey, before we wrap this one up, we got one more shout out. Dave said, shout out to all the medical personnel grinding around the clock, and thanks for all you do, Jennifer.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
Oh, geez.
Shout out there, Dave. All right. Lastly, on my end,
you can take care of those around you.
What do I got? If you guys are listening on the podcast here, these are coming out in podcast format now. Every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Join us live for a new episode of the Shooter's Mindset. If you want to get in on the giveaways and everything, get involved in the conversation, you can do that by following the Shooter's Mindset on Facebook page. That's where we host them. Definitely, if you want to email me, theshootersmindset@gmail.com is a good way to get a hold of me. Definitely thanks to Todd here for coming on, taking about a little over 2 hours of his time doing pre-show and live show.
Can we do a social media shout out so I get some followers out of this?
Yeah. What is the social media plug?
Yeah, so Multi-Gun on Instagram, guys. You can find me there. That's probably the easiest tracking me down. So if you have AK questions, hit me up or anything else we talked about. So thank you.
There you go. Gear Nation USA Fine Apparel, good buddy of mine. Pretty much does the apparel thing for fun. But yes, if you want to purchase, you can always contact me or Tactical Life.
He has the best designs.
Yeah. I actually have one on here. This is and he puts
Do
it on
you?
top notch.
I got a couple around here.
Top notch shirts that
Your Nation
puts it on.
makes. I have a hoodie. I love that white hoodie. It's so cool.
Yeah, I got one of those too. There you
But
go.
he's awesome.
He is fun dude.
Yeah, good
I
guy.
know,
If
he
you're
needs
gonna
to
hang
come
out-
to
if you wanna
SHOT
have
Show
fun with
again.
somebody. It's a fun dude. Always a pleasure to be out with that dude.
Yeah, good guy.
And that'll do it. That'll do it for episode 290 of the Shooter's Mindset. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight, and we're out of here.
Have a safe pandemic, everyone. Don't lose your humanity. Bye. Thank you for having me, guys.